welcome everyone to this Docker hands-on workshop. Uh, we will be learning about how containers have changed the world, and you all know that our organizations are going towards automation. And this is the key factor that is enabling this feature over there. We will have our industry expert Atul with us, who will tell more about this Docker part. So let me introduce Atul over here. Atul is our expert with more than 14 years of experience into the industry. He had handled more than a lot of projects into fintech and retail using these Docker tools and technologies. So today, let's learn from him and let's try to practice the learnings into our daily working. Our end goal over here is to enable you to imbibe the skills into your working life. Over to you, Atul.
Hey, thank you. Thank you so much for this opportunity. A very good afternoon to everyone. I hope everyone is doing fine and everyone is really excited to learn about containers. So the topic is very interesting, so containers and how containers have changed the world, not just in terms of developer or technical person, but overall operations in any IT industry. Okay, so I would like to kick off this session with a question. So I'm not going to get answer from you. I will be answering, but I will be answering in a what I can say, probably in sequential way, in a gradual way, the way we think and the way we grow in experience. Okay, so how softwares are developed? I would like to share my whiteboard. Give me a second. Yeah, here I go. So basically, deployment is something which is nightmare. So people who are working out there for production deployments, like last Sunday only, I had deployment issue. I had production issue, and that was due to newly deployed edition of my application. And my Sunday went west because I was just supporting that. There were problems. Yeah, despite the fact that we use CI/CD, everything. So production issues are kind of nightmares. And imagine, you don't want to disturb things, you don't want to disturb your clients, you don't want to disturb the running softwares, and still you want to have a life which is quite easy for developers, DevOps, administrators, or all the people who are part of any IT organization. Well, the idea of containers starts from the idea of SDLC one, software development lifecycle. We all know the steps of software development lifecycle. Don't worry, we will be building a container. I will be running a container. You guys will be seeing a container. It's damn easy. But understanding the concept of container is more important than running a container, because I feel practical aspects are very, very easy when you understand the conceptual foundation of that particular piece of technology. Right. So SDLC, software development lifecycle. So I'm more interested in build, test, debug, deploy. Though there are many phases of SDLC, but let's think of building components which are deployable, testing them. In case you find some issue or in case you find some bug, you need to debug and correct it, retest it, and you're ready to go for deployment. Build, test, debug, deploy is the, what I can say, is the deadlock, is the Bermuda Triangle where all of us have spent a lot of time, and no matter how much experience you have, always this particular triangle will always be a deadlock for most of us. Many times we have to sign off that, oh my God, I know this is not working, still I have to deploy. Many times deployment issues come. Many times it happens that this particular piece of software was working on dev server, but not properly working as per expectations on production server, or it was working on pre-prod, but it is not working on prod. What the hell is going wrong? Because software functionally is well tested. Now there is something which is causing this software not to run, and you spend hours, days, in worst case weeks, to find out the root cause, and eventually you come across the root cause and fix that. But well, we can't buy the time. Your customers may not be happy for this particular piece of time you are spending. Now, The answer to solution of this particular question, like problems which we face due to configurational issues, environmental issues, or probably what I can say, operating system related issues. There are many aspects. So I would be calling them as environmental issues or configurational issues. We have faced that. We have lot of times where we have came across many such issues, and unfortunately we had to deal with it. So software development is not just coding, right? Not just testing. It is much more than that. Software development or overall SDLC is all about how you bring software to customer. And if I have to bring the software to the customer, I will have to think of many things, like what is the configuration I'm going to offer to run this particular piece of software? Is that configuration matching? So suppose I am a startup, I am a newly started company, and I have customer facing server with great configuration, 64 gigs of RAM, let's say 8 core CPU, 1 terabyte of SSD, and supported by 2 terabyte of normal storage, magnetic storage. And it has got some cost, and I can't afford that cost for each and every server. So I spin up test servers every time my test team wants to do regression or my test team wants to test the software to save the cost. But unfortunately, for some reason, I did not get the same configuration on that day. So I somehow managed with less configuration. Software was tested properly, executed. Testing team is happy, and when it get deployed on production, it is having some issues. Well, now the question is, how the hell issues are coming? Because you have better configuration on production. Then software testing team would say that, wait, Atul, you have to have same configuration of production on lower environments or non-production environment. What is production environment? Customer facing server is called as production environment. Okay. So where once I put my software, customers start using it. So whatever we use on Amazon development team or Amazon technical team has put that particular code on production. Okay. So before I put anything on production, I need to think of lot many things. But wait, this has been a trivial issue. This has been a very common, frequent issue for most of us, that software was having great time on lower environments, but it is having a nightmare on prod. No reason. For some reason, I don't know the reason, whatever may be the cause. Okay. But mostly you all know, I know, that this is due to some configuration which is different from lower end servers to higher end servers. That has caused the issue. How to avoid this issue? You will say that very simple, have the same environment across your organization. So whatever number of servers you are going to use for developers, for testers, for production, they have to have exactly same. What if, even though your servers are exactly same, they are kind of physically or virtually different machines? When you ship, when you bring your software from one machine to other machine, there are good amount of chances that it might not work. Oh my God. So how to deal with this scenario without any issue? How to do this flawlessly? So when people started thinking of something called as virtual machine, let me go back to my whiteboard again. So have you heard of virtual machine? Can someone define virtual machine? What is virtual machine? You must have heard about it. So the good examples of virtual machine providers are VMware, VMware Workstation, VMware Player. There is VirtualBox by Oracle. This is probably open source software. So this was earlier developed by Sun Microsystems, I guess, and now it is taken over by Oracle. So VirtualBox. There are many VM hypervisor providers in industry out there, but these are quite popular and quite consumer known. Hence, I named both of them VMware Workstation. So let me put a very layman. I'm going to put this lecture as a layman's lecture. So I'm considering most of you are from technology, but not that well versed with technology, so that any person who is part of other field should not feel left out. Okay. So bear with me. So VMware VirtualBox, what kind of softwares are, virtual machine is a software basically. What kind of software? It's a software which helps you to install one operating system in another operating system. Okay. If I want to install Linux operating system over Windows, so Windows operating system is running, on top of that, I want to run Linux operating system. Why the hell someone wants to run Linux on Windows? For some reason, most of my tasks are Windows friendly, and some of important tasks, only few of important tasks are Linux friendly. They work on only Linux. Okay. Are there any softwares which are like this? Yes, there are many. So I have installed Linux on my Windows. Obviously, you will say that this will require a lot of hardware, lot of good configuration. It would be costly. So let me give you one example. So Hadoop, big data related software, is developed using Linux file system. It only works on Linux. So all other softwares which your organization is using are Windows specific. So only for Hadoop, you want to restart your machine and turn on Linux? That doesn't make sense. Better install a virtual machine. Virtual machine is a software which can host another operating system inside one operating system. So only to install Hadoop, you have installed whole operating system, man. Why? Because it requires certain libraries of Linux. It required certain, what I can say, files of Linux which are required to operate Hadoop, right? So don't you think it is very heavy? So let me put a diagram. I'm not into container and Docker concept yet. Huh? So to understand container, this concept is must. So let's say this is my Windows. This is called as a host OS. This is called as host operating system. On this, I need to install a program called as virtual machine provider or virtualization agent, or popularly known as hypervisor. So I have installed hypervisor, and on top of hypervisor, I can install any number of guest operating systems, guest OS. It can be Linux, it can be Mac, it can be another version of Windows. So guest OS, and host OS means the operating system which runs on hardware, bare metal, actual hardware utilization is done by that. So this is very heavy. No matter how good your configuration is, virtual machines will definitely have a role. But wait. Ultimate goal of installing this hypervisor and guest OS was just to run one software. What if I start giving libraries which are required for your software? So if I start giving environment which is required to run your software instead of giving whole operating system, this is also virtual machine, kind of virtual machine, okay. But then it is pretty lightweight. I would say it is amazingly lightweight because it doesn't have full-fledged operating system. Then you install the software. So that's why this concept is like this concept got huge priority because it is a lightweight thing. It is kind of guest environment over some virtualizer, and you can install your software inside this environment. So let me be very precise. So earlier, to install Hadoop, you installed Linux and then started installation of Hadoop. Now to install Hadoop, I won't be installing Linux. I can install only required components of Hadoop. That's it. That means this would be sizing somewhere around 1 GB, sorry, 5 GB to 10 GB. This would be sizing around few MBs. Wow, it is lightweight, it is fast, and it is very easy and quick to create and deploy. And this concept is known as container. So this is nothing but container. So container is a program which provides a required environment for your program. So you can now not just develop the software, you can, along with software, you can use the required environment. Oh my God, this is quite interesting. So welcome to the world of containerization. Welcome to the world of Docker. So basically, Docker, I'll go to my PPT. Basically, Docker is a program which is used to provide the necessary and supported environment for another program to run so that your softwares can be quickly built, shipped, and executed without any issue. So Docker provides a group of development tools, services, trusted content, and automation used individually or together to accelerate the delivery of secure applications. So the ultimate goal of Docker is faster time to market. So deployment will become very easy. Please mute yourself. There is some noise. So the benefit of Docker is it accelerates how you build, share, and run application. Build, share, and run. 3 words. Remember, 3 keywords. So Docker aims on 3 keywords. Build a software. What is building of software? Creating executable components from source code is called as build, along with its dependencies. Share. So if I want to ship, if I want to transfer my application from one machine to another machine, I will need to make sure that another machine has got Python installed, Java installed, or whatever software. Not just that, a specific version of that particular software is there. That is developers, DevOps guys' responsibility to make that sure. Any change in configuration may cause software not to work. So how to avoid this scenario? Provide all the environment required to run that software. So the receiver need not to worry about anything. Just take that software and run it. No. So this is what Docker has done to the world. So containers, the world of containers have made life of developers very easy, quite fast time to the market, because now softwares are being built and being shared along with necessary environment to run. So Docker helps developer build, share, and run applications anywhere without tedious environment configuration or management. I would like to run through one scenario. So when I was working on Hadoop projects, big data projects now, most of our time, like this is around 2013, 2014. So many of our teammates were very busy and struggling to install Hadoop cluster, to set up the Hadoop cluster. And most of our time really was taken by that particular task. And we were Hadoop or big data analysts. So analyst people are spending time in setting up the environment. So that is taking up my project cost, project time. So ultimately that project got delayed by 1 month, and it was big thing actually. So later on, Hadoop on cloud came and we could really save our time. And now, because of containerization, it is just matter of few commands. I can spin a Hadoop cluster within few minutes. I can run any number of nodes in single machine or in multiple machines. And that's the beauty of containerization. So Docker is basically a containerization software. Okay, so what Docker do? It can build, share, and run. So what does it mean by building a software? I told you, building a software or building a piece of software means you developers write the code. Now, the code is not going to be executed directly, right? So someone has put something, can we get recorded session? Yeah. We will take all these things in question and answer. Don't worry about that. This has been recorded, so don't worry about that. So basically, Docker is a software which helps you run your application along with its necessary libraries. Okay. But then in exactly which areas of software development it helps? So the first and foremost area is building application. Building application. Let me show you one thing. Okay. So here I go. I'm opening my VS Code, Visual Studio Code. I will be showing you 2-3 codes over here. Probably ready-made codes. So this is my Node.js project, one of the sample project. So I have done something. So I have taken some sample app from Docker's website. And now this is a Node.js application. Node.js is a platform to run JavaScript on server side. Okay. So if you want to run JavaScript on server side, you will need to install some version of Node on your computer. Okay. So I will first install that. And once I install that, I will need to run this. Now to run this, as I told you, I need to know the commands. I need to know how to build this project. Fortunately, this file is JavaScript file. So what if I create new file, hello.js, and let's say console.log. Ignore the syntax and ignore everything. Hello world. Okay. So let me bring terminal. Now I want to run this file. Which file? Hello.js. So I will type node hello.js. So there is module missing. See, some error has come. So my application is not able to run for some reason. Okay. So maybe path is not correct. Whatever, I don't care. So the reason for this particular piece of code not execute is Node is not installed on my machine. Node is a software which runs JavaScript. So it is not installed on my machine. So I need to install Node.js. I need to like work on that particular software configuration, and I need to then run this application. And probably I need to know a lot about Node.js. Okay. And I am not a developer. I am a person who is taking care of deployments, let's say. So yeah, I somehow managed to install that and execute this application. But when I want to transfer this application to other laptop or other desktop, then again, same thing. Download Node, install Node, configure Node. My God, too many things, right? So I'll go back to PPT now. Building a software requires your environment to be set up correctly. Not just that, you will be able to translate your source code into executable files. So Docker helps you in doing this very quickly. It can spin up a new environment quickly. So if I want Node.js application to run now, I can set up a Node.js environment on Docker container within 2 to 3 commands within 5 minutes. Oh my God. So how does it work? I'm going to show you the demo. So it integrates with your existing tools. It's not like that I'm saying Node.js only, not Python. You can do anything. You can install Java application, you can install Python application, you can install Node.js application, you can install Angular application. It is just matter of choice which you want to run. They can support everything, almost everything which we are using, right? And VS Code, which I have shown you, is now supporting Docker related plugins. So I really don't need to come to Docker command line and type the command and then run the container. No, there are many tools which will make your life easy. So containerize application for consistency. So application is running on my machine, but it is not running on your machine because our configurations are different. This will no more be a scenario anymore. Like I don't need to worry about the environment because I am going to provide my environment. Hence, the basic requirement is Docker should be installed on each machine. That's all. As long as Docker is running on each machine, you are free to go. Now, sharing the application. So many times what happens is I want to install my application on multiple machines, or I want to ship my application on different machines for any reason for that matter. So that can be very easily done by Docker. Build with verified trusted content. So basically Docker Hub is a place which is like a repository, which is like a database of various containers, pre-created containers. Not necessarily you need to install everything by your own. You will find most of your required applications or containers on Docker Hub. Docker Hub is like a Google Play Store, where you will find lot of images already created by developers, or even you can create image. Let me show you that Docker. Browser I need to open. Here I go. Docker Hub. So it is a container image library. Image means basically a necessary environment for your application to run, or package where your application and their necessary images are provided. See, Nginx server, MongoDB, Alpine Linux, Node.js. So let's say I want to use MongoDB. I'll click on this. So someone has already created necessary container for MongoDB. So someone has already installed MongoDB inside some operating system or required components and created a container, created an image for you. Now you can simply run this pull command and MongoDB will run on your machine without you actually downloading MongoDB and installing MongoDB. You just need to run docker pull mongo command and start the container and bingo, MongoDB is running on your machine. So it is this easy. Forget about that. Let me show you one interesting thing. You all know that installing, if you want to practice Linux commands, okay, if I want to practice basic Linux commands like commands or Fedora commands, I will need to install Linux, and installation of Linux is very heavy. Look at this Ubuntu, docker pull Ubuntu. So I can pull Ubuntu on my machine, like container of Ubuntu, and run that container. Within 5 minutes, your Linux terminal, Ubuntu terminal will be up and running. You won't be installing whole Linux for that. Wow, that's amazing. That's really amazing. And not just that, they have various versions of Ubuntu as well. And they have various flavors of other editions of Linux. So basically, Docker Hub is a repository of all possible container images. HTTPD is Apache server, MariaDB is kind of your MySQL, PostgreSQL. So these are pre-created images. We can create image from scratch. Okay, that we are going to do. We are going to create an image and run that. So not just share, and the most important part is Docker can run the software as well. The software which you are going to put in a container, you can run that software and you can start using that software. Oh my God. So what you are going to do, Atul? So what I am going to do, this is a to-do application on Node.js. Okay. So this particular application is a to-do application. So whatever, don't worry about that. When you see demo, you will be able to see what this application does. So I showed you, I tried to run this application and it was not running for me, right? Now, what needs to be done? I will use Docker to create container of Node.js. Means creating container means what? I will be creating an environment which can run Node.js applications. And I'm going to copy these files on that particular environment. So there are Docker commands. I will give you the reference for Docker commands. You can learn that. And I'm going to run that application. I again repeat this fact that this application failed to run on my machine when I tried to run the node command. Okay, but I'm going to show you same application would be running without any issue on my machine. Okay, via Docker. So let me first walk you through a few more things about containerization, and then I will show you this. So why should I use Docker? What's the gain? So number one, Docker has the ability to reduce the size of development by providing smaller footprints of the operating system via containers. I just mentioned, right? So Ubuntu or any version of Linux would cost you a few GBs, 1 GB, 2 GB, 3 GB is required to install that particular Linux. But the Docker container, in which Ubuntu ships, I think it is around 200 MB. So it drastically reduced the size of environment because it only provides necessary libraries. Unnecessary libraries are being eradicated. So why to carry those softwares which you are not going to use? Additionally, you can install if you want, but Docker only provides you necessary libraries, necessary environments that will save not just your time, but memory too. So with containers, it became easier for teams across different units such as development, QA, operations to work seamless across applications. So I can simply give the container image to my QA team. They can run it. They can use it. I can simply give container image to operations team so that they can start using it without any flaw. So this will become seamless, flawless, and fast as well. And the most important thing is ease of deploying Docker containers anywhere on a physical virtual machines and even on the cloud. So Amazon or Azure or even GCP offer certain services like AWS ECS, Elastic Container Service. It is kind of managed Docker, you can say that. I just need to give container to them. They will manage everything. So it becomes very easy to deploy your application now with the help of Docker. Docker containers are being pretty lightweight. They are very easily scalable. So if I want to run 3 containers instead of single container of same software, it is just matter of one parameter in the command line. And additionally, configuration is very easy. So doing this thing on 3 different servers is hectic. So if Docker or if containers would not have been there in the world today, lot of people would have spent lot of time in configuring the server side, in configuring the overall application. So build, share, run application can be automated by using Docker. You guys might have heard about CI/CD. You guys might have heard about something called as pipeline, build pipeline, debug pipeline, test pipeline, so whatever. So these pipelines can only be automated because of softwares like Docker and Kubernetes. Kubernetes is kind of management platform of containers. So that's a different thing. Okay. So then how to install Docker on my machine? So this is a link you guys can use. Anyways, you can visit the Docker's official website, docker.com. And depending on the operating system you have, you can install Docker. Okay. By the way, if you want to install Docker on Windows, now WSL2, Windows Subsystem for Linux, you need to install. That's a piece of software which you can find in Microsoft Store on your machine. So once you install the Docker, it will look like this. Let's see. So what you need to install? You need to install Windows Subsystem for Linux. How will you do that? So go to Microsoft Store and search for WSL. Search for WSL. Only on Windows, or WSL2, Windows Subsystem for Linux. And Windows Subsystem for Linux, it's a free application. Click on, I have already installed this. Click on install, it will get installed. Restart your computer, then go to the Docker's official website. So Docker, download. Go to Docker desktop. So you need to download this. So download for Mac, download for Linux, download for Windows, you can do that. Click on this. The software is hardly 500 MB and double click it. Wait for installation to come. Pretty straightforward installation. Next button hit karna aapko. You will require to wait for 10 minutes, I would say, if internet connection is faster, or 10 to 20 minutes max. So I'm not going to spend time in installations. So once you install that, you can open it from your command menu via Docker desktop shortcut. So something like this will appear. Again, for the first time when it opens, it takes some moments, like some minutes, because it starts necessary services to run your container. So this is basically a dashboard of Docker where you can see all the images of your application which are created. I'm going to delete this. I'm going to recreate this. So this is a local repository. So let's wait till this completes. It's taking some time. Additionally, if you don't want to manage containers via this particular screen, you can run pretty much every Docker command from command line. So I hope you can see my command prompt. So Docker PS. PS is process status. Is there any Docker process running on my machine? No. So Docker version, which is installed on my machine. So Docker images. Is there any image which is created on my machine? Nothing. My machine is blank slate right now. So let's create a Docker image. First, what is Docker image? Docker image is a piece of software, a piece of package which contains your code your build code and necessary environment. So when we run this image, it becomes container. Container is executed image. Okay. So now I will go to the folders of my project. So I have a project created on desktop, projects, hello Docker. So getting started app. It is a simple app. It is a Node.js app. No worries, you can run any application. Python, Java, anything. So Node.js was faster because it requires very lightweight Linux and it requires 25 to 27 MB of download. Hence, I chose this. Now, after you install Docker, you can, I'll give you link of sample project as well on GitHub. Where is my PPT? Yeah. So I explained you container. So some Docker commands are being accumulated and put in a file called as Docker file, where D is capital. Docker file is the configuration file which Docker requires, where you can put many Docker commands together and create whatever environment you want. So here, I'm not going to explain each and every command. So I will give you command line guide. So these commands, first from node :18 Alpine. So I am pulling one image from Docker Hub, which is Alpine Linux with Node.js pre-installed version 18. So it will download that. I will I will set up app directory and I will copy my code to that particular Alpine Linux in appropriate directory of Node, and I will install, or I will run the Node application via these commands on port number 3000. So port number 3000 would be up and running once this container is up. Okay. So here I go. So how to build image? My project name is getting started. So to build image from source code, the command is build. First, I will move to that directory where my project is there. So cmd. You can see the command prompt is being popped up here. Docker build. So I am going to build image from the project. So image name, getting started. Can I give any other name? It's up to you. Whatever name you want to give, you can give it. -t getting started. So it started building an image. See, load building definition from Docker file. It reads the Docker file. So transferring Docker file, load Docker, ignore, transferring context, resolve image. So for this particular process to complete, you need internet working internet connection. So it is pulling images from Docker Hub. So we will need to wait. See, it has started pulling few images. So then all the steps of that particular thing has completed. See, time required for this is 19 seconds. Time required for this is 22 seconds. So it has pulled Alpine image, Alpine Linux image from Docker Hub, and it put in a container. So it has created one image which has Node.js installed. Not just that, the source code which I have showed you, that Node.js source, has copied over there by using this copy command, and it has installed all the necessary libraries of Node.js in that particular image. Okay. So how to see if this image is successfully created or not? When for the last time I run Docker images command, it did not show anything. But now it is showing one image. The name of image is getting started. Image ID is unique ID of each image. This image ID is required if you want to delete this image or modify this image. Look at the size. Hardly 300 MBs. So basically, this image has kind of a Linux installed over that Node.js installed and my source code copied. Still, it is just 269 MBs. Hardly 269. It is pretty lightweight, right? So this image has been created. You can see on Docker desktop application, UI, this image is started. So basically on this application, you just have to click the run button, but I'm not going to run it from here. I'm going to run it from command line.
Hi Atul, sorry for interruption.
Yeah.
I have a small doubt. Like when you are building the image, do we have mandatory to give the container, Docker Hub username? Like
No.
after getting started, is it mandatory to give Docker Hub username? Like
No. So did I put my Docker username anywhere?
I just got that small doubt. That's it.
No.
So it's not mandatory.
Is not compulsory. You can down. See, basically, many of the Docker images on Docker Hub are free, so those can be downloaded without any credential. Also, good to register yourself on Docker Hub so that it will be easy for you to pull restricted images as well.
So if you want to save that image to our Docker Hub account, so then we can give that username, right?
Obviously. So if you want to store or if you want to publish any post on Facebook, you need to register yourself and log in with your credential, right? Because if you want to put something on Docker Hub, under which name you are going to put, for that you need credential, right?
Okay, fine.
So now I'm going to run my application. I'm going to run this image. So currently this image is not running. My application is not running. So via one command, I am going to run this. So building means creating necessary environment for that. So Docker run. Okay. So Docker run command will run the container, but for that I need to give certain configuration like what will be the IP address, localhost, colon 3000. So which port I want to expose via Docker. So I want to expose 3000 only. And what is the name of image? What is the name of particular image? You can additionally give image ID also, but it's very difficult to memorize image ID. It's better to write image name instead of image ID. Let me copy this to avoid any spelling mistake. Docker run. So I want to put a port. I am hitting enter. So it will return me some ID. So it will return me the container execution ID, which may be useful for debugging purpose, which may be useful for logging purpose. So if I want to see if my Docker is really running some sort of application, then Docker space PS. PS stands for process status. So currently container ID running is getting started. So whatever command created 22 seconds ago, status, it is up from 21 seconds, and on which port you can access this information, you can see that. Now, what is guarantee that this application is running? So I will go to my browser, put localhost colon 3000. See, this is a Node.js application which I have put in that code, VS Code, and I deliberately deleted Node.js from my machine so that Node.js application should not run. But I installed Docker and Node.js application is running on my machine. Let me show you. So today is Sunday. This is a to-do application. What I need to do, I need to play cricket. So add item. I need to buy groceries. Add item. This is just sample demo application. Then I need to have a long drive. So add item. See, the application is up and running. So I will do one thing. Docker pause getting started. Okay, if you are having issue with the image name, then you can simply put the container ID. So Docker pause will kind of pause the running container. If I refresh this application will no more be running. Application has been paused. So instead of stopping the application, if you want to avoid people using the application, you can pause the container. And now I want this particular container to run again. I will unpause it. So as soon as I unpause it, see, I am able to access this. Remove. 1, 2, 3. Congratulations. How many containers I can create? As many as you want. How many images I can create? As many as you want. Just the thing is, you need to know these commands. But again, if you are not very command friendly, this is the place where you can see the containers, which container is running, images, how many images are installed on your local repository or on Docker Hub also. So this is a Docker desktop application UI where you can do lot of stuff without command line. But I personally prefer learning command line because it will give you more privileges, more benefits. So volumes, containers can use volumes to store data. Additionally, if your application is generating data, if you want to read data which is there on some drives, you can create volumes. So Docker is pretty much big thing. I just showed you how to run application out of the box from Docker. So what if I want to transfer this application to your machine? Probably I will give you source code along with Docker file, or I can simply give you image. And the best way is I will put my image on some repository called as Docker Hub. So I will open Docker Hub. Docker Hub. You need to register over here. It is an image library. Upload your image over here and bingo. Anywhere in the world, if you want to do that, you just need to run one command. That's it. So here I can upload my image. So you need to register over here. Your login will appear here. And now you can create a repository. You can upload your image. Your image will be public or private depending on which type of plan you choose. Again, it's free for certain things, but you can upgrade your plan and you can get multiple benefits of it. So personal, you can access it via Docker desktop. Unlimited public repositories. Public repositories means anybody in the world can download your image. There is no restriction. Docker engine plus Kubernetes, they provide limited image pools per day. But image pools per day are somewhere around 500 or 1,000, I think so. Unlimited scope tokens. But if you go for paid plans, then more benefits are there. 5,000 images per pool per day, unlimited images pool per day. So these are pro plans, and private repository is the concept which is there. What is private repository? Only the allowed users can download your image. No other user can download your image. Okay. So that's the goal. Personal, pro, team. Again, I am having personal account. I have faced no issue in my organization. We are using Teams. So our repositories, our images are not being exposed to the public. That's the benefit of Teams account or upgraded plan, I would say. And my application is up and running. So I just need to run few commands and my application would be there on server up and running. So stopping application, starting application, updating application, just a command away. Or if you love to use UI like Docker desktop, then you just need to come here and like if I want to stop this container, I will come here and stop this container like this. This is a stop command. If I want to delete the container, I can delete the container. If I want to delete the image, I can delete the image. So lot of things can be done from here. So push to Docker Hub. Again, when you want to push any image to Docker Hub, you must log in with your Docker Hub credentials. It is free. You can create your account on Docker. Again, if you wish to explore more Docker commands, so Docker has a very nice documentation. So Docker, I'll show you developers getting started. In fact, learn how to install Docker and all CLI, enhance your development workflow. So here you will see lot of commands and lot of explanations about these commands. Let me put Docker commands directly. Docker. So the base command for Docker Hub. So here I go. I'll put this in chat so that you guys can also explore the commands. I would recommend everyone to go through the commands instead of just using this Docker desktop application, because on production systems or in organizations, you might not get access of this particular UI. This is very easy. If you use this now, you will never need to run any Docker command. This offers every functionality, but it is subjected to availability. If your organization doesn't provide you this, then what you're going to do? So it's better to learn commands. So this is additional benefit you will have, isn't it? And in this way, you can manage your application. You can run application, you can stop application. If I want to install another container, I can simply repeat the process which I have done. Source code will be provided by your development team, or you can download sample source from internet. You can run that. So you can install things one by one and you can get away from it. Okay. So that's all about Docker and how to use Docker. So there are a few more things Shilpi will be letting you know, and then we will be getting few questions and answers. Over to you, Shilpi. Just a second.
Thank you, Atul. Let me share my screen. Is my screen visible to you all?
Yeah.
Okay, so thank you, Atul. This was indeed a great session for us. Team, please hold on with your questions. We will be taking you through the Q&A session in just a few minutes. As we promised, we are having more learnings for you. We will be playing a quiz over there where you have chances to win some good gifts over there. Some Amazon vouchers are waiting for you. So whatever you have learned in this session, we will be taking a quiz around it to just give you a recap with fun part, right? So one, Atul is talking about Docker over here. So we have a DevOps program completely. So when we go through the DevOps program, why we need to learn, why I'm talking about this, because Docker is a part of this program. And this program is completely taking you from the beginning level to the expert level, imbibing all the skills that a DevOps engineer should require. It's not only a Docker skill that a DevOps engineer should have, there are much more that a DevOps engineer should know about it. So this program is designed by the industry experts who knows the industry, who know what the skills a DevOps engineer should know. And they have put all the elements over here which are required to be a successful DevOps engineer. So this program is a 7 months DevOps engineer program, which opens the door of exciting opportunities for you in the field of DevOps. Once you are going through much more advanced topics over there, doing hands-on practices, doing more exercises over there, along with all these things, you will be also doing some projects. Along with your learning, you will be doing 9 platform-specific projects as well as 1 capstone project. Now, if I take you through this, the learning part of this program, the DevOps program, you will be starting with Python and Linux, the fundamental part which any programmer, which any DevOps engineer should know. Then we are talking about cloud. So we are segmenting the first part as the initial scripting part, and the part is next your cloud, and then the third section is your tools and technologies. So once you are coming to the cloud part, we are taking you through Microsoft Cloud over here, starting with the fundamentals so that you know how to work over Azure. With every Microsoft program, if you see, I'm writing over here 3 projects. So you will be doing 3 projects along with every course over here. Then you will be doing 204, AZ204, that is developing solutions from Microsoft Azure, where you know about the development part. And the next following part is AZ400, that is designing and implementing Microsoft DevOps solutions. Here you will be working on DevOps using Azure platform. Again, you will be doing 3 projects. Please be mindful over here that our goal is to imbibe the skills, to provide you the skills required, as well as we are making you certification ready also. We are providing you exam vouchers along with the program so that you write the exams, get certified. Getting certified opens a window for you into the industry. We will be providing you with the skills, we will be teaching you, and to make you exam ready also, we have some practice tests over there, and with end of every module, there are some questions so that you learn how to practice and how to prepare for your exams. Moving from the Microsoft part, we will be going through different open source tools and technologies that are required for a DevOps engineer. Here we will be talking about Jenkins, Docker, Kubernetes, Ansible, Terraform, and other DevOps monitoring tools that are Prometheus, Grafana, and Tableau over there. This is the complete package that will come to you, and towards the end, you will be also doing again one capstone project. We will be trying to give you industry specific projects. If you are belonging to fintech industry, then your capstone project from that. If you are from manufacturing, we will try to give you a capstone project according, so that you can relate to the industries where you are working and put your skills over there. We also have career and placement services. That means we will be trying to provide you placement once you are part of this program. Now, it's not like towards the end only your placement services will start. We start working towards your placement in the first 1/3 part of the program. So that is the strategy. Slowly and gradually, as you learn more, you're increasing the chances of getting placed highly. This services, you will be listening more about these things with us. And towards the end, once you submit all your projects, you are enabling to open the course completion of DevOps engineer with us. Now, this is a complete package, and I have also picked up some testimonials over here, like what our learners who are part of this program, what they are saying. So some of the learners there who had already walked the path of the DevOps program, they are talking about this program and they are talking about their success stories. So let me just play with one of this for you so that you listen, not from me, but from our learners only, how they feel about this program.
Hello, my name is Vikrant Kapandis, and I have joined DevOps course in Scale-Up platform.
Is it audible to you?
So, I'm a working.
Is it audible to you? Please type into the chat window.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I have my most of the time on weekends only. So I was searching for the platform who can provide guidance on weekends. So I came across the Scale-Up platform and I enrolled for a DevOps course. So what is the most important thing which everyone of us like in this course is the most organized way of completing the course. So these DevOps courses are divided into different modules. And for each different modules, we have different technical persons who can guide us. So in Winters, if we have any doubt, so they are also arranging the sessions for us to clearing our doubts. And within 3 months, they are providing us assistant placement also. So that is really incredible of them to do those things. So I will recommend this course. Thank you.
Okay. So you have heard that we have started the placement. It's not only we are talking, but we are doing it for you.
Hi, I'm Dashni from Bangalore. I myself being a software professional for around 6+ years, and one of the major skills that was hindering my professional growth was DevOps. So it is then when I got to know about the spin-ups DevOps tools and enrolled for it. So one of the query I had was why the duration of the course is very long. When I getting to know about the course and having been in the course for this long, I got to know the value of the time that they have prepared for, and it is very much needed for every person to have that much, that much duration to learn each and every concept of DevOps. So I appreciate Skillup for preparing the course very well, and that is helping me to explore more opportunities in my profession. Thank you.
Interesting, right? So learning from the people who already walk the path, listening to them is always motivating and enlightening. And it shows that it's not only about talking, but it's about implementing also. So you see the program is divided in different modules, placement are there, different technical experts come for different kind of modules so that you get the right skills over there. You get the industry exposure also over there. You learn from the industry that, okay, what are the problems? What are the challenges? How to overcome those challenges? It's also part when different industry experts comes and teach you. So that is the beauty of this program. Now, apart from this, let me unfold more things for you over here.
I'm Darshini.
So there are some more additional elements we have for over here. It's not only that once the program is for 7 months, the journey is over with us. No, it's not over there. We will handhold you for a longer time over there because it's the time of learning. Now it's the time of implementation. When you have started implementing the things, we are still there for you. So after completion of the program, after 15 days, we will give you a 2 hours working session over there. That is Ask Me Anything. Whatever questions you are facing, whatever challenges you are facing, you can come to this session and know us your problems and we will be able to solve you out over there. It's not only it ends over. Again, there is one more interesting session that is after 30 days of the program completion, there will be another 2-hour sessions where you can again ask anything. So learn, go and work, come back to us, get your query solved. That is how the cycle is going on and we are trying to help more and more over there. Right? Do you find this thing interesting? Please type in the chat window, yes, if this sounds interesting to you. Please quickly type yes if this fascinates you. Okay, cool. So those who are interested into this, our team can connect to you to tell more about this program. Now, as we promised over there that we will be having a game session also for you. What you are learning, you will have chance. What you are learning, you will have chance to test it out and also get a chance to win the vouchers. So let me tell you the rules of the game over here. You have to open kahoot.it at your web browser. And once you open it, you will be seeing a game pin on our screen. So enter that game pin onto your device. Enter the name with which you have logged in with us so that we identify and we are able to provide the vouchers to the winners. And once we start the game, then read the questions on our screen and provide the answers on your screen, right? Please be mindful. The more faster you are, more closer you are on the winning board. Okay. Hope this give the instructions clear to everyone. Okay, I will invite my friend Saksham over here to take you through the game, please. Saksham, over to you.
Hi everyone. So let me just share my screen and let's start with the quiz. Let me please confirm in the chat box when my screen is visible to you all.
All good.
Okay. Now I request everyone to kindly open kahoot.it in your respective web browser. And once you have entered, kindly enter the game pin that is mentioned in the screen. Now,
Learners, please be fast over here.
And I also want to request everyone to please register with the same name that you have entered while registering for the workshop. So in that case, there will be complete visibility for us to. Once done, kindly confirm in kindly write yes in the chat box so that we can have the confirmation that people have started joining.
Are you all at kahoot.it? Okay, Saksham, start please.
Sure. Let's go to the next question. This is to remind you all that the faster you click on the answer, the higher the chances that you have scored more. So let's go to the question and try to answer as quickly as possible.
Oh, scoreboard is changing. Tejas is taking the lead. Team, be fast.
Ranjit has the highest answer streak of 3 right now. That's nice.
Oh. Last 3 questions, last 3 chances. Still the same. Okay.
The final
Last question
question.
to challenge everyone. Okay, so this is the final board. Gana Sharma standing third. Okay, congratulations. Second, Ranjit. Okay, and who is the winner? Great. Interesting. So Tejas is the winner. First, second one, Ranjit, third, Gana. Congratulations to all of you. You will be getting the Amazon vouchers into your inbox. Please ensure to check your mailbox tomorrow. So by tomorrow, we will be sending you the Amazon vouchers. Congratulations. Yeah. Thank you everyone for participating and being a sport over here. Thank you, Saksham. Okay, now it's time to invite the question and answers. So if you have any queries, please unmute yourself and ask your questions. Atul is over here to help us out.
Hi Atul, this is Gnan Sharma.
Hey, hi, how are you?
Yeah, fine, thank you. Hope you are well.
Yeah, I'm good too, thanks.
Yeah, regarding like actually what I'm having is, let's say I have a code in a GitHub.
Hmm.
I just clone into the virtual machine, like I have a Ubuntu Linux. and then clone that code to that VM, and then now I just directly create an image for that code by preparing like Docker file. Let's say suppose this is having a front end, back end, and DB. So how can we approach the process, like creating a Docker file, or what is the setup actually?
So again, it all depends on whether you like which technologies you are using for backend, front end. So rather than creating a single Docker file, like there are many ways to do this, right? So you can either create a single Docker file with 3 different components. You need Angular, right? Suppose you are running things on Angular. So you will need HTTP server followed by, let's say your backend is of Java. You will need Java to be installed, at least JRE to be installed on your image, and followed by some database with required credentials. So you need to put a command to install database and configure database with required credentials, and bingo. So pull that image to your local or whatever VM you have, create a Docker file, put it in root of that particular project, and just copy those projects to appropriate directories of Linux which you are choosing, let's say Alpine Linux or any Linux. And once you do that, run all the applications using appropriate run commands, and they will be running on different ports. Like front end will be running on 4200, back end would be running on 8080, and bingo, you are there. So front end, back end, along with database.
So all these 3 can be written in one Docker file. So for front end, one Docker file. For back end, for DB.
Approach can be anything. The recommended approach is have separate Docker file so that tomorrow if you want to change anything, it will not impact others. Having single Docker file is also okay if you are well set and done with the Docker commands. So I have done using both, but the simpler and more reliable approach is separate Docker files for each.
Okay. Can you suggest like how to practice a more Docker file creation? So the commands.
For Docker file, I would recommend go through each and every command, type in. So try everything and then start reading Docker files for the images which are there on Docker Hub. You will start understanding, you will start reading those particular Docker files very easily. So Docker file is essentially group of Docker commands only, right?
Yes.
And one more thing, most of the images use Linux. Most of the images take help of Linux file system. So have practice of basic Linux file system commands as well. That's why we have included Linux FS commands or basics of Linux in the course. I feel that's really essential.
Okay. In the VM, is there any difference with using Amazon Linux or Ubuntu?
No.
Is the commands are the same or any difference?
Any distribution of Linux would give you same command. Just the thing is where people go wrong, every Linux has a software repository. So you need to make sure you are appropriately using the repository. For example, if you are using Amazon Linux, then you need to use yum utility. If you use Ubuntu Linux, then you have to use apt utility. So to download the software. Otherwise, all the commands are same.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you. Any more questions? Anybody?
Participants, any more questions, please? Atul
Yeah,
is
Atul,
already
yeah.
upon his brain.
Yeah, Atul, one more.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Do we have any alternate to Docker current in market, like which is competitive? Like, is there anything?
Like honestly, since the Docker on cloud concept, like containers on cloud concept has picked up, you don't need to use these software. So you can use services like ECS or container service from Azure or Google's container service. They are just same like Docker, but you will be doing that on cloud. Your application will be up and running on cloud. So ECS, Elastic Container Service by AWS is one of the amazing alternative to Docker. In fact, they are using Docker only or Docker-like applications only to containerize your application. But on local, Docker is best.
So in a real-time projects, let's say they're going to use a Docker, or as you said, is for
So,
complete
I would say
containerization, image
people are using
creation.
more cloud, but again, cloud. See, what is difference between Docker on your machine and Docker on cloud? So things are not going to be managed by you anymore. Like installation of Docker, configuration of Docker, everything will be done by cloud. You just need you see. Yesterday only, this is pretty old laptop of mine. So I started installing Docker and I was getting many errors. So I had to uninstall many components. I had to install many components and then install Docker. So I have restarted my laptop at least 11 times yesterday. So reason, old version of Windows. But on other laptops, which is my office laptop, it is all set and done. And when I tried, I was testing this particular image on ECS, AWS ECS. It took me 2 commands only. So it really saved my time to make sure that this, for demonstration purpose, this particular piece of software should run. So I tested it on ECS first. 2 minutes was the time. But to set up it on my machine, it took me 1 hour. So if you use Docker locally, you need to install and configure by your own. If you use Docker on cloud or any containerization on cloud, it is already there. You just have to use it. You don't need to spend time on installations. So industry is using cloud for sure. That's why we have deliberately put cloud syllabus also as part of this particular curriculum. It is kind of essential. But we should learn both. So while teaching you Docker, we will be preferring local. But when you learn Azure, we will be showing you like how to deploy containers over cloud and all. So you will have knowledge of both. No matter which company you go, whether it is a startup or MNC, you can tackle all these scenarios upcoming. So concepts are same. See, Docker is Docker, containerization is containerization, whether it is on cloud or local. You will be doing the same thing. You will be creating a Docker file. You will be running Docker commands. So that's all. Only the paths will change, the project paths.
Okay, thank you.
Any more questions, guys? Any doubt? Feel free. The more you ask, the more you get.
Hello.
Hi.
Yeah, hi. I'm Tanmay. So
Hi,
my question is, when we are creating any EC2 instance in the AWS,
Mhm.
so when you were saying that we have to create a Docker which will have an internal OS, which will be containing the least required things inside that, right? So do we need that EC2 to install a Docker, or we can just directly serve the Docker?
So there is a service by Amazon AWS called as ECS, Elastic Container Service. If you go and start that service, you can directly give the image which you have, container image which you have. They will do all the necessary stuff. They will create a virtual machine. They will deploy it on that. You will be directly using that. Additionally, if you have enrolled or if you have rented EC2 and you want to explicitly install Docker over there, then you can do it. Basically, EC2 is infrastructure as a service, right? So on infrastructure as a service, configuration, installation, all will be headache of us. But Elastic Container Service is a platform as a service, which is cloud offering. So they have already installed Docker at their side. You just have to use it.
Okay.
Need of EC2.
Got it. Yeah. Thank you.
Any more questions? We are open for next 5 minutes. Feel free, guys. Don't worry about the question, how silly, how good, how bad it is. Question is a question.
Okay, so seems no more questions over there. Team, before we close this session, a reminder to you, you will be getting the recording of this session as well as you can download your certificate of participation. And that will be available to you, all the information over the email. So you can check your inbox after tomorrow afternoon and the things will be ready for you. Moreover, the winners, they will be also getting the Amazon vouchers information by tomorrow afternoon. So I congratulate everyone for joining, making time to attend this session. And I'm very much sure that this session was a learning experience for you. In case you want to learn more about this program, so you can reach us at scaleup.online, or you can come to our website scaleup.online and you can fill in the form. I have given a link of this program into the chat window. Please feel free to explore it more and reach out to us for more questions. We will be happy to help. Yeah. Thank you, Atul, for this session. Thank you, Saksham. Congratulate everyone. Thank you, everyone.
Congratulations. Have a nice day. Bye bye.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Yeah,
Thank you.
thank you all. Thank you, team.
Thank you.
Bye.